What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the BSBN Podcast, episode 15. My name's Pat. I'm your host, and I have here Dan and Vic with me on today's podcast. Both of them, got both guys here.
What's going on, guys?
Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you guys had a great holiday vacation. We have Vicky Boy here coming home from work. I'm home in my new home right now, so nothing is set up at the moment, but next week's setup will look a lot different. And hopefully a lot better, too. I have a lot of cool stuff on next week's setup. And then we have Dan here as well with his backwards cap on.
Yeah. Look, I like wearing the backwards cap, okay? Don't hate me.
I hate you anyway. Not a big deal. All right, what's going on,
Yeah,
guys?
I know this.
All right, so first order of business, we have to talk about it, right? Because it's got to be talked about. We are here now. Finally, the regular season of the 2025 season is over. We have all the spilled. Very dramatic week. A lot of coaches been fired. A lot of teams that I thought should have been in are not in. Ravens losing by a field goal with a rookie kicker in, and then you have Tampa Bay winning their game, but then losing because of the tiebreaker due to the Falcons beating the Saints. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that all here, but we're going to start off here. We're going to do the wild card games, and I want everyone who is watching right now to understand that we're shooting this today on Friday, January 9th. This will be out tomorrow, or I guess for you guys today, January 10th on Saturday. And then we're also going to be recording and doing a full playoff bracket deep dive to like from wild card all the way through to the Super Bowl on everyone's takes and whatnot when we have a little bit more time to kind of go over that. But for now, though, we're just doing the wild card games. So we're going to start off in here. And I was going to go in order, but I want to kind of kick it off with the 2 to 7 seed. The second seed here is the New England Patriots at home. Oh, sorry. Let's start off with the. I want to just say the AFC winner. The bye week winner is the Denver Broncos. They finished out the number 1 seed, so they do not play this week. So congratulations to the Broncos for winning the AFC conference. We have the number 2 seed here, the New England Patriots versus the I was about to say San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers, January 11th at 8 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. Who do you boys got winning this game? Where are we starting with this? Let's try to keep it sweet, short, simple, to the point. Let's get it going, guys. Dan, what do you have?
Yeah, see, I really don't want to say too much because, like you said, we're doing our prediction video, and I want to go more into deep dive there. But I think this game is going to be a test for one, Drake May, and this is also going to be a test for 2, Justin Herbert. Can this be the year that Justin Herbert actually, because I personally think Justin Herbert is one of the most hated on quarterbacks in the NFL for whatever reason. And he's one of the better he's been carrying the Chargers this year. Yeah, you had Hampton go down from injury this year. And even when he came back, he was still running the ball quite well. But this Chargers team is just beat up at the O-line. It's going to be a determination of which defense could stop one another and what quarterback shows up and now plays more. I want to say that I think mainly the Patriots are going to take this, but I could also see the Chargers winning this out. But I'm going to end up going Patriots just for the quick prediction.
Okay. I'm going to keep this slight short here. Like, I do think, I don't know what you mean by hated. I mean, I think that people believe he's, like, overrated, but I do think that Justin Herbert has a lot more to prove, I guess, in a sense, because, you know, his name's been thrown out there for a couple years now, being, like, the number 1 guy, like, not number 1 guy, but he's, like, in the top 5 of quarterbacks, and he's good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know about top 5 quarterbacks right now. And then you have to think that he is not, I don't think he's won a playoff game yet. Granted, the AFC is stacked, but that's not the point. I mean, if you're listed as a top 5 guy, then you have to show that you're able to compete with other top 5 people. This is not week 1 versus the Raiders or anything like that. This is why I don't know who they were. I think people versus the Chiefs. I think they beat them anyway, but this is not week 1 of the regular season. This is wild card. This is win or go home. And Justin Herbert has yet to win a win or go home thing. I mean, it doesn't matter if you want to call him top 5, top 10. This is Right now,
Uh,
he's pretty
to,
much pretty much a Tony Romo at the moment.
to your point, he made the playoffs in 2022 and last year,
Yeah. Okay.
and now he's making the playoffs for the third year
Third
in
time,
his
and he
career.
still hasn't won yet, though. I mean, but people are calling him a top 5 quarterback. It's been since he got in the league. So I mean, like, I don't want to like. The guy needs to come up and do something here. Like he's got Lad McConkey there. I don't think they utilized him much at all this season, but they got to do something with him. They have to be able to win a game here in the playoffs, and it's against a very tough team, I guess. Depending on who you ask, I know Vic's opinion about this is about to get crazy, but what's it called? But it's against the number 2 seed, the New England Patriots. Some people's favorite to win the Super Bowl. Some people's favorite to even just make the Super Bowl. Vic's got him out this round. I'm just gonna save you the time, and just simply because he does not like them or Drake May. And yeah, but no, I just don't know if I'm gonna see Justin Herbert come out and win this game. I don't think he has. First off, I don't think they have the team to come out and beat the Patriots. Secondly, I think that right now, as it stands, and I'm going to glance over at the screen. So if my eyes look up, it's because I'm not going to look at Vic's face. But I think that right now, as it stands, I think Drake May is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert, at least in this season. So I'm curious to see how this game plays out. But I think the defense, the offense, the offensive line of the Patriots is just a solid and overall better than the Chargers. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Patriots in this one, and I got them in kind of like a it's going to be a margin of a win. I'm taking this at least by 14 points for a win here in the first round.
Unfreaking believable. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking New England. It's not just because I don't like them. It's definitely because I don't like them. Yeah, I mean, this game's going to come down to what's his name, Herbert, man. I mean, like you just said, he hasn't really produced. He's getting that Romo kind of look going into the postseason. It kind of reminds me of a Josh Allen-ish kind of the inconsistency of Josh Allen that he was early in his career. Like, go into a game and ball out and then give you 2 games where he just makes bad decisions and loses the game. So he's got to be perfect against the New England team. I'm excited that they're playing a team above 500 in the playoffs because you can't make any mistakes. It's one game. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be tested the most he's been tested all season. The Chargers have actually played some solid contending teams, and I'm sure they played a few playoff teams in their run in the season. Yeah, and McConkey's got to get involved. I have a feeling he's going to get involved this week. I think they'll do a good job of getting him involved. I think the Chargers have a better defense, in my opinion, and I just think they play better teams. But it's going to come down to if Herbert's got to he's got to be perfect, you know. I don't think it's going to be like a defensive game. It's going to be close, but I think it'll be a high-scoring game if the offense on the Chargers could get going and they can match that and they can force a stop, you know, then I think they can win. You know, who's home, New England or the Chargers?
It's New England, yeah, because they're home.
So yeah, I mean it's going to be tough, but I'm going to take the Chargers, man. I'm yet to see May be tested. This is his first test, and it's not the hardest team to play. Going off of a guy who constantly loses in the postseason, so nothing to pat yourself on the back about, May. But
damn, this guy can't even get credit if he wins.
Nope. Not against Tony Romo. Come on.
Look,
now.
to impress Vic,
for me, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Because if you lose to Tony Romo, you're ass. And if you beat him, it's like, all right, well, you beat a guy who's lost in the postseason 4 years already. So, like, what have you shown me? Jack shit. So, sorry, buddy. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'm taking the Chargers to win this close game. I think Herbert shows out, though, and the offense gets it done. And I think a big turnover in the second half of the Chargers seals the victory.
Listen, for Vic to appreciate a Patriots quarterback, it's going to take a lot after having to deal with
Same has to be Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Same has to be Tom Brady.
Tom Brady in that division.
You have to be the GOAT. That's it. We got recognized because he was the GOAT. All right, it made sense. The GOAT was in our division for 20 years, no doubt. I can recognize that. there was no way. But no, not this guy. No.
I don't know, man. I mean,
you just started, bro. Like, relax. You're about to get home
Tom
quick, buddy.
Brady had just started his second season and he won a Super Bowl. I'm just.
If you sit here and you try and fucking compare this shitbag,
really, Pat, I'm gonna have to
fucking shake my head off. It's diabolical and an insult to Tom Brady's legacy. You can tell me this side. Yeah.
Second season, I mean, I don't know. You know, the Patriots kind of got that.
Patriots back to that Tom Brady.
We'll see. I mean, this guy is Drake May.
We got Tom Brady right now.
Is he Tom Brady? I don't know.
Wait, you better get off that bandwagon, bro.
In 10 years, we'll see. When Jackson Dart and him verse in the Super Bowl and Jackson Dart wins, then we'll know if he's actually Tom Brady or not. And
when Jackson Dart's terminally ill,
body cast. Yeah, I know.
But from his ruptured spine, watching him lose in the Super Bowl 10 years later, then But I'm taking the Chargers, and he's not Tom Brady, so everyone can shove it where the sun shines.
All right. Next game up here, we have the Jaguars at home versus the Buffalo Bills. We've actually talked about this matchup. We did. This was the scenario that we had said, and I'll kind of talk about it first. We talked about this being a very, very tough matchup back on Week 17 when we thought this might be a possibility. Now, for me, this might be a very tough matchup for Josh Allen here. As we spoke about on a previous podcast, this is a game in which there's all the recipes for Jacksonville to actually win this game. First off, they're at home. That's a great start. They're at home. There's really not much else to get better for than at home with your fans. Secondly, they have one of the best rush defenses in the league, and that is primarily what the Buffalo Bills have to offer. They do not have a number one wide receiver. It's shown up against tough teams like the Eagles. They just don't have a guy that they can reliably go to if his name is not James Cook, and that is it. They have not had a number one wide receiver all year. The ball around the different people, and that's if they can get it off. But again, their defense has been nothing but solid on Jacksonville this year. I have discredited them, thrown them under the mud. I've slandered their name through and through, and I'm here to tell you, it doesn't end here today. I'm taking Buffalo, but I'm just gonna say that only because I think that this is a different atmosphere. It's not because of how they played. I think Jacksonville has earned their spot, and I am sorry to Jacksonville for the amount of times I have discredited them. I'm not sorry because I feel like they were justified. No one knew who they were going to be coming into the midway through the season. They turned it up. They did their thing and they won. Salute. But I just think that Josh Allen has had the experience, and Josh Allen has to play with a damn chip on his shoulder because this is a season he cannot lose. This is a season he has to come through and win because there is no top 5 quarterback above him that has been here before. He has got to be the most solidified guy in the playoffs in the AFC conference right now, other than Aaron Rodgers, and that's it. And really, it's the Steelers. So, I'm just saying it's going to be a tough matchup for the Bills, but I do think they find a way to squeak through. But you know what? I don't know. In my heart, I kind of want to see Jacksonville pull an upset. Not an upset. They're kind of favored, I guess, in that sense, right? But you can't discredit anything when Josh Allen is on the field. As long as he is on the field, the Bills have a chance.
Buffalo's actually the favorites by 1.5.
It's really not much, and that's I'm not taking that too much. It is what it is on there, but like it's not by much, and I'm taking them as the favorites only because again they are the 3 seed and they are at home. Buffalo just couldn't get it done. Unfortunately, you get the division. I don't know how you don't win the division this year. It just doesn't make sense to me. Patriots came out and balled. Don't get me wrong, but there's no reason why you lose some of these games. Who did they lose? I think they lost to the. Did they not lose to the Raiders? Did they lost to someone else too? I forgot what easy team it was. The Saints. Was that the game that they almost lost and whatnot? No, the Giants lost to the Saints. But yeah, No,
Lost to
I got the Bills coming out of this one. I think it's going to be a tight one, though. I think it's probably one of my favorite games of the week.
they split with New England. They lost to Atlanta early on in the year. Then they lost to Miami and the Texans.
Yeah, Texans a good team.
And then they lost one of the last games against the Eagles. Second to last game against the Eagles in a 1-point game. But yeah, I'm going to have to... Yeah, going on into this game, the Jags and the Bills, this is always a tough matchup for the Bills. I feel like we have seen this matchup before in the playoffs too. And it went in the Bills' favors and not Jacksonville's.
Have we? I mean, that's a while ago. This is a different team.
I think, it's been a while ago. But Liam Cohn has came into this team being the first-year head coach for Jacksonville and just turned this team around offensively. You're looking at the year that Trevor Lawrence had. He had a better year than his previous years in the NFL. After during the trade deadline, them trading for Jacoby Myers, since he's been coming into the team, and since Travis Hunter went down, you're seeing a whole different offense from this Jacksonville Jaguars team. And like you said, they have one of the better rush defenses in the league going against the Bills. And yeah, the Bills they're primarily a rush team because, like you said, they have James Cook. And with James Cook back there, you're going to run the ball. But not having a number one is also being tough on Josh Allen this year because he can't find... I don't know if he can't find his targets or the targets are not getting open, but it's just the passing season that he had this year hasn't been to what we've normally seen from Josh Allen. But like I said, in that case being the case, the Bills still have a good defense too. You can't knock what their defense is doing. But I think with the experience and everything and the fact that Josh Allen, it's, to me, this year for him is Super Bowl or bust. You have to win the Super Bowl this year because, like you said, you don't have to go through Joe Burrow. You don't have to go through Lamar Jackson. You don't have to go through Patty Mahomes. And these have been the quarterbacks that have been a thorn in your side since you've been in the AFC with the Bills. And it's just, this year is just an easier run for you to make the Super Bowl. And that's why I'm going with the Bills, because I think that they could pull it off this year.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills, bro. Bills are going to get it done. It's going to be I can't wait to see this game, too. We spoke about this. This is by far their hardest matchup in the whole AFC bracket, in my opinion. This is like their mini Super Bowl game right here. And if Josh Allen wins this game, he's going to ride this all the way through. It's just obviously the best rush defense versus the best rushing offense. So I'm sure they're going to do a hell of a job slowing down Cook, even though he's such a great, explosive running back. I think the real factor of this game is going to come down to turnovers. Who's going to turn the ball over first and who's going to turn it over more? Because I know Jackson's defense is going to force him to get uncomfortable. They're going to force him to play, because they're going to take Cook out of the game. They're going to slow him down. They're going to make him make plays, whether they're with his legs or with his arm. And he needs to just be smart, man. You can't make dumb mistakes. These teams are both good at getting takeaways as well. You cannot go into this game. I mean, they're both teams are surging. They're both hot going into the playoffs. You cannot go and be like, all right, I lost my option, and I put all this pressure on yourself, like I need to go make a play. Like, you have the confidence in you to know that place, you got the experience. You've been here plenty of times. You know what your guys are capable of and what you're capable of, and don't try and don't let the pressure get to you and make a mistake, man, because that's what it's going to come down to. Is one mistake. One mistake will ruin the whole game for Buffalo. And same way for them. I mean, I'm not taking anything away. Jacksonville has definitely surprised me. I did not see them coming out and doing anything they did this year. Trevor Lawrence did have one of his best seasons so far this year, even though him and Josh Allen's stats, I'm pretty sure, are pretty similar. But yeah, I mean, I can't bet against Josh. I got Josh taking the win, and they find a way to get it done. I think it's going to be a great game, though. He just has to stay composed and play smart and safe football. Take your shots when you need to, but just they can't cost you. You cannot give Jacksonville free You can't give the ball over to them and give them free drives because they score on their drives that they get takeaways on. And they put 7 up. They don't put 3 up. So you got to maximize your drives and minimize their drives. That's the key to success here. So let's go Buffalo.
All right, we got all 3 for Buffalo here, and it's not against Jacksonville again. Like Vic said, this is probably a mini game here right now. I'm at least I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for. This should be a great game. And this game takes place on Sunday at 1 p.m. January 11th on CBS. And now we got the other game. This is the Monday night primetime game. It's going to be the number 4 seed, the Steelers, at home versus the Houston Texans at the number 5 seed here. This is primetime Monday game. Aaron Rodgers versus C.J. Stroud and company, a.k.a. one of the best defenses in the league.
Metcalf's back too, right?
Metcalf is back. Yes, he is off his suspension now officially. So he is back. So we got Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and company versus CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, and in my opinion, probably the best defense in the league. So, with that being said, I'm going to start this off with I got the Houston Texans winning this. I'm taking them to beat the Steelers at home. Sorry, Pittsburgh. I do not know if this offense is consistent enough to go through and beat that defense that Houston has been notorious for this season. They got the cornerbacks, their linebacker, everything's just great about that team right now, and they're on fire. I think they are on an 8 or a 9 game win streak as of right now. I do not see that stopping this week. I just don't. You guys won a close one against the Ravens, granted, but also got lucky to be there by a field goal due to a rookie kicker. It was a great game otherwise, but it's just when I see offense without DK Metcalf, obviously it was inconsistent, which means to tell me all you have to do is lock up DK Metcalf. And honestly, as much as that sounds like that's a tough job, DK Metcalf hasn't really been much all season to me anyway. And I don't know how Steelers fans feel about him, but I feel like George Pickens was a better player, and he did outperform DK Metcalf this season anyway. But yeah, no. So I don't even think with DK Metcalf in there, for me, I don't have this one being in favor of the Steelers. I just think the defense is too much. I think CJ Stroud will go out there, win this game against them, because I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh's defense is not bad either, but not enough to stop. Not enough to stop them. It's just not. For me, I can't see it being a thing right now. So I'm taking, in confidence, I'm taking the Houston Texans. That could backfire on me, but I am taking the Houston Texans. And I think who's the favorite this game? Houston favorite by 3. I kind of got that being a little bit more, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. By 3, I don't think that's bad to take. So it is what it is. But yeah, I got Houston winning this game, like no problem.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to agree with you, and I'm going to take the Texans too, because like you said, they had probably, if not one of the better defenses in the playoffs this year. I mean, yeah, you have the Broncos, you have the Seahawks.
They're better than both.
But to me, they've been the better defense this whole year, the Texans. And you're going up, yeah, the Steelers' defense is also a top defense too, but does it have the secondary like the Texans have? Absolutely not. The Texans completely clear the Steelers secondary, and you're going up against that secondary. It's going to be hard for just one guy to get open. And yeah, okay, the Steelers have Fremont as a tight end too, but you know that him and Metcalf are going to be the guys. You're going to lock them down, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have to find other options to get the ball to. And I just think it's going to be extremely hard on Rodgers to find those other options. I mean, yeah, Rodgers is the veteran. He definitely has the experience and everything to do this and pull off a win here. But the fact that the Texans have had this number 1 defense all year, it's kind of hard to pick against that defense and say that it's not going to show up in a meaningful game. And you also can't underestimate Stroud. Like, yes, Stroud has a very bad year this year compared to other years, but I'm not gonna I still have confidence in Stroud to where he can turn around or show up in these big games and make them a competition.
What about you, Vicky Boy?
And I'd hate. I mean, I really feel for my brothers in Christ over there in Houston, but they're not going to get it done, in my opinion. I think Pittsburgh's taking this one, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, they got that number one defense, and they I don't know, they just that offense is too inconsistent for me to definitely say that they're going to beat Pittsburgh. I just like, yeah, he hasn't had a great year, Stroud, but that offense doesn't look all that. Even it's the defense that wins them these games. They don't score a lot of points, Houston, and if Stroud's off by just a little bit, Rodgers could take advantage of that. He's got Metcalf coming back. They just beat Baltimore. Yeah, they lost off a young kid. I think Rodgers knows this is his last year. Feel like it means a lot more to him. Maybe he goes in there and lights a fire up under the whole Pittsburgh's ass, and they go out there with like fire in their eyes. Their defense isn't horrible. I can't sit here and be like, yeah, Nico's going to have a field day because he hasn't done absolutely dog crap the whole season. So like I don't have any trust in that Houston offense. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I think there'll be a lot of 3-and-outs on both sides of the field. Feel like it'll come down to a field goal type of game, 3 points. I got Aaron Rodgers just outwitting C.J. Stroud's offense and making enough plays to keep them in better field position than Houston, and to get that game-winning field goal or even win by 6. Going with Mike Tomlin's. I'm going with Mike Tomlin's crew, bro. Like they've been to the playoffs consistently. He's done a great job of getting them there. They ain't got the greatest team, but I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers. I think they make more plays than Houston. And I think Stroud makes a mistake. I just can't put him there. And nothing against Houston. Obviously, their defense will keep them in that game, but I don't think the defense will win that game.
Okay. I'm going to start off here on the other end here. So we have the NFC side. We have the Seahawks on the number one seed of the NFC. They get the bye week this week and are considered home for any game they play, which is huge for the Seahawks because you already know 12 man over there is a big damn deal in Seattle. But I'm gonna keep this one, and we're gonna start off here with the game that I'm kind of least excited to talk about. I don't even want to I'm gonna go down in order this time around. This one we're gonna go. Yeah, we'll start off with this one. We're gonna start off with the 4th and 5th seed here for this game, and this is probably, in my opinion, the worst game of Wildcard Weekend, being the Panthers at home in Carolina versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams here at 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. We have 2 Saturday games, 3 Sunday games, and 1 Monday. So it's 4:30 tomorrow will be the Panthers versus Rams. I'll take this off real quick and just start with Rams. Just Rams. There's really not much. This is like the game to me that's just. This is like there's not even a doubt in my mind. Don't get me wrong. Okay, look. If Carolina comes ahead and pulls off a win here, I'm rooting for them for the rest of the playoffs. I don't care if it's 1 game or the next 3. All right. But at the same time, I'm not going to discredit them. I think that Carolina does have a decent squad. Bryce Young, first off, I want to talk about the season he's had. Not a bad season at all by Bryce Young. Bryce Young has come in there and been a locker room leader. We thought that him and Anthony Richardson were going to kind of be on the same path, especially after being benched. But he came along, he played his role. He said, all right, I have to sit, no problem. I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be an emotional leader for the guy. He's still giving handshakes, everything like that at the end of the games and whatnot. And then he comes in, he's the leader. Now he's the quarterback. Now he is the starting quarterback. They're not putting in Andy Dalton for any reason other than an injury. And which, again, we talked about Phillip Rivers being in here. The fact that Andy Dalton is still in the league is just beyond nuts to me. But, Bryce Young really won over the number one QB role in this team, and I think he could be a potential
Wasn't it always the starter?
he was the start of the season, yeah, but like last season I think it was they put Andy Dalton there. It was either last season or one before that, but I think it was last season that Bryce Young was sat for Andy Dalton. What's it called for the fact that he just wasn't doing good. And then so they brought in him, and that was a big concern. And now this season he's doing real good. So I'm kind of excited about it to like actually do something here, and I'm ready to see him do something. So I do got the Rams coming in and winning this game. I just think that the Panthers do kind of have a shot at something here. I just don't know what they're going to be able to do. So for now, that's just what I got. I think that the I think that the Rams just got too much of a defense. Matthew Stafford, possible MVP candidate. Puka Nacua having a monstrous season. Whole team's just doing good. I see the Rams losing this one. But if, like I said, if Carolina finds a way to pull this off, I'm behind you, Carolina. At that point, I'm rooting for you. But yeah, go ahead. I have a phone call, real quick take. So just like keep talking, do your thing. Carolina versus Rams. Dan, it's on you.
Yeah, no, with this game, it's more so I'm surprised Carolina even has the home field advantage in this game, because when you look at them, I believe they're 8-8 this year, or 8-9 is an under 500 team, and you have the Rams that are 12-5 and not giving them a home team or a home game. I get it, Carolina won their division, but at the same time, it's like, do they really deserve a home game? I don't think so. But I do have the Rams going into Carolina and beating them. Yeah, Carolina hasn't had a bad season this year. McMillan has been a rookie receiver that's been one of the better rookies all year this year. Going in with Carolina, he has 70 catches and 1,000 receiving yards. In my opinion, he's going to probably be in consideration and will win the Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. But yeah, like Pat said, Bryce Young has came into this team and made the team taking the locker room leader under his wing, and it's been good. And has had one of the better seasons that he has had. And the Panthers got here. But I think that the Rams just outmatched them in every single asset of the game. You're getting Devontae Adams back for Matthew Stafford. You have Puka Nacua. And then that defense, it's also one of the better defenses that have been in the playoffs this year. So I just think that the Rams completely outmatched the Panthers in this game, and I'm going to give it to the Rams this year to make it to the divisional round.
Yeah, same thing. Rams are just too much for Carolina. Carolina did a hell of a job squeaking their way to the playoffs in that bombshell of a division, a derailed division. I don't know what the hell happened there, but they're getting eliminated. They ain't got nowhere near enough to contend with the Rams, bro. Rams will shut down the run game. Bryce Young's going to be forced to throw that ball 50 times, and he's shown doing that. He plays horrible. I feel like this game's going to be lopsided as hell, especially because Matthew Stafford's last two games have been subpar, and he's got this little tendency to, like, when he plays like two subpar games, he comes out and throws a 5-touchdown game. The two games after, so I thought he's going to be a stampede trample. Carolina fans will be out of the stadium by the half. Sorry, guys, no hope for yous. And yeah, Stafford's going to do his thing like he's been doing all year. The defense is going to get it done, and it's going to be a blowout. I probably won't even watch this game.
Woo. All right, we're going to go on to the next one here. We are going to go on to the next Saturday game. I probably should have done it in order, right? Maybe just done like the. We'll kind of do that in the bracket thing.
All right, we're ready. We're already in here.
Yeah, we're already in here. It doesn't matter now at this point. All right, restart. Let's redo it now. What's it called? Now, so we're going to start off here with the primetime game of Saturday, the division rivalry matchup between the Chicago Bears, the number 2 seed in the league. Not in the league. In the conference. Versus the number 7 squeaked in Packers. We have seen this thing be a. I think they split the season. I think in week 14 it was. It was an interception that won the Packers the game, and then in I forgot, what was it, week 17 that they versed again or something like that, and the Chicago Bears won that game. I think off of a comeback or some shit. Where a lot of people got injured. We do not have Micah Parsons in this game due to the torn ACL that he suffered in that game against the Bears, amongst others. I don't know if Jordan Love is back or not. Huh?
The
Week
game went to
16?
overtime. The
Oh,
Bears
yeah,
won.
yeah. Yeah, they after a comeback. But yeah, no. So, I mean, Mike Parsons is not in. I don't know what's going on with Jordan Love because I know he was concussion protocoled. So I don't know if he's back yet. We're gonna have to keep an eye on the injury report, or if he already has been ruled, then my bad.
He's
I have
definitely
been.
playing.
You think he's got to be playing, right?
Well, don't matter. It ain't gonna make a difference anyway. But go ahead.
All right, so they're gonna have to wear. They're gonna have him wear one of those big ass helmets or something like that, just to make sure he's able to be like in there. You have to wear one of those big space helmets. But yeah, no, I think that if this is a fun game, to I think probably one of the favorites that I'm gonna watch. No matter how much I think that the Bears win this. By the way, bear down. But I just think that this is a fun match. Whenever Chicago and the Packers play, it's never not a good match. This is a fun match no matter what. And for us to get it in the division round, in the wild card round, is I think a little what would you say last week? I think because we thought we were talking about the Patriots and the Bills. I kind of now see that because I kind of wish this was in the division round and not in the wild card round. But it is what it is. We have it. This is what it is. And you know what? I think it's going to be fun. I do have the Bears winning this one. This is going to be taking place on Saturday, 8 o'clock prime time Eastern, by the way. All time zones are in Eastern for everyone saying the times here. But I had the Bears winning this. One of the best defenses in the league right now. And we already know defense it's an ongoing theme here with most of these teams is the defense is just too damn good in some of these cases. And the Bears are no joke. They're no exception to it. They are the number 2 team, I think, in takeaways this season. One of the best in a lot of areas. They got good on pressures on the quarter. And then Caleb Williams has been playing good. Swift with a 1,000-yard season. Their backup running back with 700 and something yards. Pretty damn good. I can't say his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I do not have it up in front of me right now to kind of look at it. Because I'm working off of a kind of bootleg setup at the moment. But I mean, they got a team. If Odunze comes in and actually does something this game, if they freaking utilize him to his best capacity, and they use DJ Moore, this team is going to be one to watch in the playoffs, and I'm excited for them. They were my dark horse team at the beginning of the season. I'm going bear down with this one. I have them beating the Packers at home at Soldier Field. This is going to be a good one, and what a great slot for them. They're playing a primetime game on Saturday, and I'm excited for that. That one is on Amazon Prime Video for those who need to watch it. If you don't know where it's at, it's going to be on Amazon Prime because the NFL doesn't care about making games accessible anymore. We just care about putting them on things that no one else has.
That's where the money comes from.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow, this game. We're getting a divisional rival game as a first round playoff game. And it's very interesting because, like you said, the Bears, this is a team that nobody expected to have the year that they've had. To be the 2 seed?
Maybe not 2 seed, no, but definitely a better team.
Exactly then.
Dark horse, though.
Did you have them making the playoffs?
I said they were a dark horse for me. So yeah. I had them being a dark horse. I didn't expect the NFC to be as good as they were, but I had them being at least in the playoffs. I thought it might have been 6 seed or something, but I had them being a good team this year.
But yeah, the year that they had, nobody expected them to be the 2nd seed of the playoffs. I mean, yeah, you had Caleb Williams came out in his sophomore year and definitely didn't have a sophomore slump. You have Loveland, that tight end that has What?
No, Jay Daniels with a sophomore slump. Some of these guys had sophomore slumps, and it's one of those guys.
Well, yeah. But Caleb Williams definitely did not have his sophomore slump. He came out looking better than he did in his rookie year. And you can give that credit to the new coach that they had. I think it was I don't know his name, but I know he was the Lions offensive coordinator. And you can see that this offense is completely turned around for the Bears compared to last year. You have Caleb Williams that had a better year. You have Loveland at the tight end that came into his craft as the year progressed. Odunze has been one of his targets, but not used to his full potential. And then you have DJ Moore doing DJ Moore things. This team has looked completely different. And like you said, the defense is one of the top defenses in the NFC. So it's really a good matchup to go against because especially if Green Bay don't have that and Micah Parsons not playing this game, they lose one of their better pass rushers on that team, if not the league's overall one of the better pass rushers in the league. And that's going to be a big key to get you through the playoffs, having your defense. Because like you said, it's an ongoing trend that defense win championships in this league. And the Bears have that right now. The Packers, Jaden Love hasn't been looking like
Jordan
Love hasn't been looking good this year. You don't know what he's doing, and I don't know. That offense has just been looking completely off. But I'm gonna go with the Bears here. And you're playing at Soldier Field, and they're actually getting they have the home field buff. You want to talk about the 12th man? That stadium is not far behind that home field buff.
Chicago is about to be rocking, bro. That's going to be a sick stadium.
Bro, how long has it been since Chicago's made the playoffs?
This is going to be a game. I'm excited for that.
This is going to be must-watch TV, in my opinion. That and the Jaguars Bills game is going to be must-watch TV.
What about you, Vicky boy?
But yeah, I'm going Bears here.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got the second coming of Rex Grossman coming to life over here in Chicago, bro. Yeah, man. I've been calling it all year that this slip that Green Bay has done did. You know what I mean? They slipped their whole season, slipped into the playoffs, and they're going to slip right out. That offense, Chicago, we both had them kind of being like a dark horse. I definitely had Caleb Williams having like a way better year and improving. That system, the coach, everything works, and he makes that system work. They're a team that create explosive plays. They scare the shit out of defenses that they play because they're able to make these big explosive plays, which is what's going to win you these games against these defensive teams. Is when you can go out there and make a play. I've seen this guy's got total control of that offense, Caleb. I've seen him march down the field and in the toughest, peakiest parts of the game and stay composed and score, right? And Green Bay's just looked like dog crap the second part of the season. They lost their best guy on defense. They didn't impress me all year long, and I've been saying that since the beginning, and that's exactly why they are where they are right now, and that's exactly why they're going to lose. Swifty, my boy, hell of a season. Chicago's going to get it done, especially at home, man. Like, there's just too much energy, too much hype, and Caleb's just been playing far greater than that Packers offense. That Packers offense does not play great at all. That team, the only way the Packers win this game is if the game is under 20 points between both teams. You know what I mean? If it's like a 13-6 game, that's the only way Green Bay wins games. If the game goes anywhere over 20 points, they ain't got enough firepower to produce that. And I got Buffalo. I got Chicago coming out and at least dropping 28 because Caleb gets points on the boards, man, and that defense is elite. In those takeaways, which is a crucial stat to have in the playoffs. You know, you get the pass rush. Jordan Love ain't looking so hot. He's going to definitely make some mistakes. He's going to have to get out of the pocket. And he just hasn't looked great. And that offense hasn't looked great. And the defense, since losing Parsons, took a big hit. You lost your best pass rusher. Your most producing sack machine on that team is gone now. And it's definitely showed. I mean, it was showing already that team was digressing even with him because of how horrible that offense is. There's no juice in that offense. It's just the defense, you know. So yeah, I got Caleb coming out and continue to ride on and take that Rex Grossman. You know, it's great to see the rivalry like the Green Bay and Chicago. Man, it brings me back to like the early 2000s, you know, with the Earl Acker days and when Green Bay and Chicago were kind of making the postseason, even though Chicago was always knocked out like easily, other than that one year with Rex Grossman where they made it. Did they beat Peyton Manning in that one?
Which one? Who was
No.
it?
Did Rex Grossman beat Peyton Manning in that Super Bowl? They made it to the Super Bowl.
No.
They lost?
Yeah, they lost. Because was it them? Yeah, they lost. They didn't win. I don't think Peyton. Right?
I don't know, actually.
Because Drew Brees doesn't have a Super Bowl, right? Does Drew Brees have a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He was the one who beat Peyton Manning, right?
Peyton has 2.
Yeah, Peyton has 1 as a Bronco, and then he beat the Bears then. Because he lost it against Drew Brees. That's what it was. So I was like, I don't remember which one he lost, but it was definitely against Brees then, I'm guessing. So what a great Super Bowl that was.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm taking Chicago, man. Chicago is the way stronger team.
By the way, the Packers are the favorites in this game by 1.5.
That's
I don't know how.
Shit. I don't know. That's dumb as
Yeah,
shit.
they're trying to rob people on the books. That's why they're the favorite.
Yeah, that's dumb as
going
shit.
on here. There's some fuckery going on.
Which, speaking of, I want to touch on real quick before we go any further. Man, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if you guys get the same feeling from the Bears coach. But you know, they have a great motto this year. The good is better chant. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but if you haven't, I highly recommend watching it. It is one of the most hyped things I've seen since Ray Lewis has been in the league, and for me, that's like, it's just such a good chant. I can't imagine that locker room not coming out hyped every single week after listening to that chant constantly go off. It's such a great motto for them in specific, for the constant improvement they made, and that team they have made just such a an improvement over the offseason. All right, and now the last and final game of the NFC here is going to be the number 3 seed Eagles versus the number 6 seed the 49ers. Playing in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the favorite by 6. They are playing on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on Fox.
Who lost their number 2 seed to the Bears because they lost.
Yeah, it is what it is, though.
They lost it last week.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So this is a game to. This is a game. I mean, this is going to be a tough one. I think we already seen this matchup, right? This is the one that came down to the field goals or whatever. It's a tough matchup either way you go. It's really going to depend on how I think Philly's offense really gets going, because I think the 49ers have been kind of consistent with how they played, whether they've been plagued with injuries or not. Christian McCaffrey is their go-to guy. They have some offensive talent, kind of similar to, you know, how I want to say like the Bills. And they're like, you know, they don't have like the number 1 guy in my eyes, but they still manage to keep up appearances with their offensive talent. And then they got an incredible defense. Granted, they did lose guys, but it apparently doesn't matter because they've still been able to have a top defense in the league. Maybe not like the top 3 or anything like that, but pretty damn good regardless in the season. This is a tough one for me. It really depends on if Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and that offense can click. Because we already know that their defense could do good. This is going to be a very defensive-heavy matchup between both teams, and I'm not sure which way it's going to lean. I honestly don't even have a one in my eyes that I could look at as it's definitive. This is probably the toughest matchup for me, other than the Bills and the Jaguars game. But for me right now, this is again on the NFC side. This is kind of like a mini kind of Super Bowl. I was kind of hoping this would have been like an NFC conference kind of thing, because this is a great matchup for me in my eyes. So very heavily defensive teams. Both got amazing running backs. McCaffrey probably top 3 running back in the league right now between the amount of passing and receiving and running yards he's had over the season. And then on top of that, you have just offenses are just like it's a weird matchup. So like I love it. I do love it, and I'm excited for this matchup. I don't know who takes the big bag on this one, but obviously we got to pick a winner. You have to pick a winner here. So if I'm going to pick a winner right now, man, they're tried true and they're at home. for some reason, I'm not going to disallow myself to go against the Eagles in this matchup. I will take the Eagles as the winner just because, again, they've been here before. They know what it takes to win these big games. And right now, I don't know if Purdy or Mac Jones or anyone who's starting that game right now is going to have the finish to get there. But I do think it's possible either way. But if you're asking me to pick a winner right now, I'm going to take the people who have been here before, the ones who have won it before, the ones who have won it all, the tried, true, and dominant squad that the Eagles were last season. They might not be as good this season, but I still think they take away the win here against the 49ers.
Wow, you're going 49ers. The unbiased Giants fan in you is taking the Eagles.
Yeah, obviously. But, Dan, your take on the Eagles versus the 49ers? Go.
Yeah, so you're coming from an unbiased Giants fan perspective in this. I don't know if this is going to be my Giants bias coming in here, but what the 49ers have done this year is kind of incredible because they've been one of the most, they've probably been the most banged up team in the NFL this year. And to have the season that they've had, being 12-5 and losing guys like Fred Warner, all these key guys to your team, and still doing what you've done, it's incredible work. And I don't know if it's because the magic Kyle Shanahan has or something, but this team has just been on another level this year compared to last year. And the Eagles I don't know, something about the Eagles this year has just looked completely off. Yeah, I know, like, Lane Dickerson has been injured on and off this year. You don't have Kelsey on that O-line anymore, so the O-line is looking completely different. And Saquon has just had a complete off year. And I don't know. Can the Eagles get this done being at Lincoln? Absolutely, because they got Lincoln again. You want to talk about a home field buff stadium? That's another one of these. You have the 12th man, Lincoln Field Soldier. Who knows if the Bills can play at home again one last time in the playoffs? These are all stadiums that you're going to have a buff at. And can it be enough to get the Eagles past the 49ers? I don't know. Because what Eagles team is going to show up? Is it going to be the team that's been completely inconsistent all year? Lacking the wide receiver depth, and I don't know how you can be with guys like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown as your receivers. It's kind of hard to say why this team has not been consistent on a passing level. But I'm going to give this to the 49ers pulling out the upset here.
All right.
I just think it's the year of the NFC South.
NFC West. But, all right.
Oh, yeah, NFC West.
There you go. What about you, Vic? What do you got here?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners. I mean, both teams are pretty similar. Good defenses. They got weapons on both sides of the offense. I'd like to see the 49ers advance and beat Phillies at home. And, so I'm taking the 49ers. I keep it short and sweet.
Fair enough. All right, that game is 4:30 p.m. on Sunday on Fox, I believe it was. All right. Well, freaking now that we got done with the brackets here, there are kind of other things that we have to speak about. Some things that are like, not obviously nearly as important as as the wild card weekend here, but I mean, we have 4 rookie quarterbacks that are starting the season that everyone's talking about right now. We have the New York Giants, obviously, with Jackson Dart. We had the Tennessee Titans with Cam Ward. We have the Browns with Shador Sanders, and we have Tyler Show on the Saints. I wanted to kind of get your guys' opinion on them. Do any of these guys seem like they could be franchise QBs? Do you give them a grade if you had to? And are any of these guys going to be your offensive rookie of the year, or for you? Like, who do you think takes offensive rookie of the year, or is it just not them? Is it not them? I think Dan said something about I think it was McMillan or something like that is your guy. So I mean that's probably I think it's a lot of people's favorites. But do any of these quarterbacks have a shot? What do you guys kind of think about these QBs going into their first season?
I think if we're gonna give a grade based off of like what quarterback had the most impact for his team, and you're looking at it, I think the two highest graded quarterbacks are gonna be Jackson Dart and Tyler Shout or Shrout, however you pronounce his last
I'm
name.
calling him Show. I have no idea how to say his last name. I'm calling him Show.
Tyler Show, because they their impact on the teams that they've had is incredible. You had Jackson Dart come into a year. He put up 2,200 passing yards with 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Yeah, okay, the interceptions, I get it, but he's still a rookie quarterback. He's going to make these mistakes in times where he should have held on to the ball or thrown it away. But Jackson Dart had an incredible year, so I think if we're going to give him a grade, I think it's going to be an A. And then same thing for Tyler Show. He came into the Saints. The Saints, we all expected to be one of the worst teams in the league, and that didn't happen. And even when he got his chance, he came in and gave 2,300 passing yards with 13 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. I don't know if he played the whole year for the Saints. I think he came in
Rattler played the first couple games.
closer to like the halfway point, right? If I'm
Game
not
5
mistaken.
or something like that. He played. Rattler played like the first 5-6 games, something like that, and then he came in.
Yeah, so even he had a great year for the Saints, and it looks like the Saints and the Giants have found their franchise quarterback. But then even with Cam Ward, I would have to give a B or even a B plus because the year he had 3,100 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's a good year, but again, he took way too many sacks this year. I think he was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. And yeah, I just the only people that out of the quarterbacks that we have mentioned so far that I can see winning Rookie of the Year are definitely Jackson Dart and Tyler Show. But I think the clear favorite in most people's eyes is definitely McMillan from the Panthers.
For me, I think that all 4 quarterbacks honestly are going to make a name for themselves. I think that Shedeur Sanders probably is probably the one that I'm a little bit more curious about because I don't know how much he's going to pan out. The Browns, I think, have so much more problems than just the QB. They have a lot of holes they need to
They get
fill.
rid of the head coach.
Yeah, they did, thankfully. But that potentially goes to the Giants, and I don't want him going there. And please hoping for John Harbaugh. We'll speak about that on another time. But right now, I don't know. I like the way Jackson Dart's played. I like the way that Cam Ward's played. I like Tyler's show, and I still do think that what's it called? Shedeur Sanders is gonna he'll make a name. I just don't know how much of it right now. He's probably had all these QBs have had one thing in common, which is they've all had kind of like mediocre teams to play with, right? Everyone kind of knows that Giants were not in a good position, Titans were in a good position, the Saints were in a good position, and the Browns were in a good position. In my eyes, I think the Titans and the Browns were the 2 worst out of those teams. Before coming into the season, and I think at the end of it, they still end up being the 2 worst teams between the 4 of them. But I do think that it's a lot because I think the Browns, even though they didn't finish the worst record, I think that offense just has a lot of holes, and the fact that Shedeur Sanders didn't have nearly as much practice time as the rest, the jury is still out on him. He did finish with 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, or whatever the hell it was, I think total. I'm not gonna grade him an F or anything like that because again, I think that he just had the lack of practice, didn't get the first team rep. It showed the first couple of games, kind of got his rhythm a little bit, nothing too crazy yet. But again, he does not have the wide receiver core there. He doesn't have the offensive line there. Not that it's an excuse because none of these teams do. I mean, the Giants probably had the better offensive line between all of them, but he was still left scrambling. They did have the hardest season of the hardest schedule of the year, the Giants. But I think that Shedeur Sanders, I'm giving like a solid, I'll give him like a B minus for now. Even a C plus if you want to put him down just a little bit, but I don't think he goes below that in my eyes. Cam Ward, I think had a silent and great year. Honestly, probably one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league, like you had said before. But for me, in my eyes, the guy is he plays behind a shit O line. I mean, Tennessee is a really crap team. They did
The
not
whole
have
team is
the
ass.
whole team is ass. Like they had nothing going for them. They don't have a defense. They don't have an offense. Nothing for them went right. And he could have been in a similar situation to Shador Sanders as far as touchdown to interception ratio, but he put his goddamn head down. He played his game. He had a pretty good touchdown to interception ratio for a guy who's playing on probably one of the worst teams in the league. And Tennessee hasn't had something like that coming out of a rookie quarterback off a shit team. So for me, I think he has a lot of potential. You get him a couple of good wide receivers or something like that, or even an offensive line, for God's sakes. And I think there's a couple of them coming out of this first round this year that really need to be looked at. But I mean, right now, yeah, they had probably one of the worst offensive settings that I could think of, and Cam Ward came out there and showed. I think no one's talking about him, but I mean, he had a damn good season. I'm tired of no one talking about it. He really did have a good season. Despite everything, I think he had a good season. I didn't watch all his games, but I can tell you from everything I did see, I've seen all the highlights and the games I did watch. Don't think he did bad. He wasn't playing bad. For someone who's getting sacked like that, he didn't lose his composure, didn't lose his demeanor, didn't lose nothing. He came out there to play and he played. He balled. He did what he did, and he did good. So I think they have a franchise QB. I'm giving him a little bit better of a record. I'm going to give him a B, a solid B, because I think that right now it's just I need to see more from him. Tyler Show, I think, is one of the guys here for the Saints that everyone's talking about as he's the guy. He's the guy and whatnot. For me, the Saints have, just like all these other teams, mediocre team, correct, right? Chris Olave is their best wide receiver, probably the best guy on that offense. And there's not much else to talk about them with, but I think Tyler Show, for me, I mean, he played good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's as hyped. For me, I'm not as hyped about him as I am Cam Ward. But I do think he's solid still. I think he's a solid B as well. I think he's another one he probably can be the franchise QB, and I think we'll see more out of him in year 2. It's not a discreditment. Don't get me wrong. Don't go get it twisted, Saints fans. I don't think he's a bad QB at all. I think he can be your franchise QB. But for me, the jury is still out until I see him next season. And maybe with an even harder schedule. I don't know. But that's just where I have him at. Which leads me right now to Jackson Dart and the Giants. Hardest schedule in the league by far. He went against the Broncos. They did lose that game, and he was a little troubled in that fourth quarter. But granted, I mean, the whole team was. And Jackson Dart, I had a lot of upsides about. I am very much hyped about Jackson Dart, and I do think he is the franchise QB to the Giants. Giants fans who are looking to trade up to get Mendoza, I'm gonna curse real quick, and I'm sorry for that. You're fucking stupid. You're dumb. You're straight up dumb. There's no reason for it. So I mean, yeah, no. If you don't think Jackson Dart's the future of this team, I don't know what the hell you're looking at. I really don't. Maybe the injury thing. If you want to talk about injuries, sure. But that's something that we can kind of look at and fix over the course of this next year with an actual offseason. Maybe with a little bit of games under his belt. He had the hardest schedule in the league, and he still came out and showed out. Guy hardly threw interceptions. He had 5 interceptions thrown on the year. And then I don't remember how many touchdowns he threw. Was it 17 or something like that? And then he had another 15. So he's 15-5 plus another 9 rushing. So 24-5. So I don't know. I think yes. Total he had 9 rushing and then 15 passing. So 24 touchdowns. So I think for me, I'm looking at him. I think he played great. Other than his injury assessment, I don't think he's even injury prone. I think he just gotta not be stupid with how he runs. That's simply it. And I think if they put another wide receiver there, I think if they put a better offensive lineman at that right tackle position, no matter which one you go for it in this first round, even though I want a wide receiver there, if they go for Fano coming out of the right tackle position, I forgot which college he's in, but if they go for him coming out the first round, I'm not mad. Because I think Wan'Dale Robinson could also play the 2, but we just need to worry about if Neighbors is going to stay down. That's the only problem. If Neighbors stays up and Scatterbo stays up, I think they have a solid chance, and I think that I think that he plays a great game. So for me, I'm putting Jackson Dart at a B+ right now. He could be even higher if I just think he was a little bit smarter with his running decisions. He runs great. He sees the pocket well, but I need to see him slide. He's got to slide. He's got to learn how to slide. He does. I've given him shit for it, but he does have to learn how to slide because you can't be taking concussion protocols every other game and sitting out for 2 games because your best ability is your availability, yada yada yada. So he needs to be able to play. I'm giving him a B plus. I do think he's the future of this quarterback for this team. I think he just needs a coach that can keep him intact under control. And I think someone like John Harbaugh will be the guy to do that.
Yeah. I don't think any of these guys make Rookie of the Year, and they pretty much all get Bs from me. Obviously, the 2 best producing quarterbacks were Dart and Cam Ward. I up Ward over Dart just a little bit, just because he literally had nobody on that team. People were dropping the ball. He didn't have any known receivers. He didn't scramble like Dart did to get those extra touchdowns. He sat and took his sacks and just sat in the pocket. So statistically, Dart, had a better season than him because he uses his legs a little bit more mobile than him. But it goes to show, like, I think if you put some weapons around Ward, how productive he can be going into his next season if they do that. Obviously the Saints quarterback, that was something that they needed. He showed some promise. Same as Shador, I think, with the time, if they give him the time to play, and let him get it. It's a lot with these quarterbacks because they're all rookies, so they ain't all great. They need time to develop. But the 2 best producing ones out of that group, obviously, are Dart and Ward. I'm excited to see the next season. I think the Giants definitely have a great quarterback in Dart. He's just a little dangerous, obviously, a little stupid. He needs to get a little smarter in the mobility aspect of the game. But he's definitely promise there if they beef up their team a little bit on their offense. I'm sure he could be a lot more productive, and the same goes for Ward. And same goes to those other guys as well, too. But more so, those 2 are the higher, stronger quarterbacks, in my opinion, out of those 4. I think the least likely to get the most playing time out of those 4 will be Shador, because Cleveland's just shit show, and I don't know what they're going to do, if they're even going to start him next year, or they're going to do some shit like the Jets used to do with these QB competitions or whatever. But yeah, I give them all pretty much solid Bs across the board. 1 guy up a B plus, 1 guy down a B minus.
Not as bad at all. Yeah, same here. That's where I'm at right now with them. And then Vic, I had a question for you real quick, right? So I wanted to talk about it because we've gone through something. Actually, you know what, hon? I want to talk about this. Speaking of the Browns, because I don't think we can kind of skip over this, right? This is like a big thing. Myles Garrett hits the all-time season sack record with 23 sacks in the season. Versus the Bengals, he got his last sack against Joe Burrow, which I know some people say he laid down. I mean, Strahan had the same exact kind of thing with who was it? Favre laid down as well.
Yeah.
So it happens. It's gonna be a thing. But I mean, I just wanted to kind of talk about it here because you know what? There's a comparison going on between 2 division rivals, between Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt. First off, does the extra game, even though he didn't play all those games, mind you, I think he did it in 16 games or something like that, Myles Garrett, total, I think he missed 1 or 2. Does this discredit him? I want to go over that. Does this kind of discredit the record for beating someone like Michael Strahan? Does that beat that? I'm scared. This conversation constantly happens.
I hate when people say that just because a record is broken, and if the NFL adds more games, or the MLB added more games, or even the NHL took away some games, those records still hold up. And if somebody breaks a record, it's their right. It's not their fault that the NFL added more games during the time that they were playing. It's not their fault. You can't predict this as a player. Your job is to go out there and play the games that you're meant to play. Whether it's 16 or 17 games. If Michael Strahan was in the league and there were 17 games, of course he probably would have had more sacks. But that's a what if. You can't go off the narrative of what ifs. What happened, happened. Michael Strahan broke the record. Garrett broke the record this year. It's give him his props for doing what he's done. Because whether it's 16 or 17 games, getting that many sacks is still a hell of a feat. You don't see many players do it. No, I don't think it discredits Myles Garrett. I think he earned it, given the state that he's in to play in the NFL with the 17 games.
What about you, Vic? What do you feel about this? How do you feel about the sack record being broken?
Yeah, same way. That's it. Game evolves, game changes. People got to adapt. Like, it is what it is. Like, that's it. Whether it was an extra game added on or whatever, the torch is always going to get passed. Someone's always going to break a record. It's just a matter of when, So there's no need to be grimy about it or or discredit anybody. That's it. Records are there to be broken, and kudos to Garrett for finally breaking it. Guy's a dog. No credit away from Strahan, and no credit away from Gastineau, because Gastineau held it prior, and he actually got a real sack. So if I feel for anyone, it's for Gastineau.
He's also very salty about it.
Yeah, he was. He was very salty about it. But you know what? Because his last sack was a pile driver probably into the ground. Like, he had to work for that shit. But
I still remember the video. I'm gonna kill you, Brett Favre.
Oh, you seen that? He's like, I don't feel safe right now. He's like, what are you doing, man? He fucking rolled up on him like a lunatic. I think the meme was what do they call that? The brain injuries? What's it called? Yeah. They had like a little meme there, like Brett Favre was just like caught, like, what? What's this guy doing here? But yeah, man, that's just it, man. Records are meant to be broken, and he broke it, and I'm sure someone's gonna break his, whether it's next season or in 2 or 3 years, and it might be 20 games in a season by then, but it doesn't take away the hard work that these guys do to go out and produce for their teams and grab 23 sacks in a season. So, someone's always going to break a record. They're there to be broken, whether it's more games or not. We adapt. There's a lot of rule changes now and added games and everything to the way the game used to be played, and that's the name of the game. So, there should be no shame or no shade thrown at any of these guys for the new rules. Like, this is the game now. Like, that's it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I even have to add this into this conversation too. If Garrett did play during a time like Strahan, where you could actually hit the quarterback and you weren't getting flags for just the littlest things, do you think that he would have broken, if you want to put it this way, do you think he would have broken Strahan's record in that time period?
Would have. I mean, it was a little bit more run heavy back then than it was pass heavy. Like, this is a very pass heavy league, so I think he has more opportunities to. But I don't discredit him for, like, at least getting the record. But I do think this is a little bit, I don't know, I want to say a little bit easier of a way to get the record, and it's not because of the games. I think it's just, again, like I said, I think it's just, this league is very pass heavy now. So, I mean, granted, it's kind of getting back into the running, right? We are kind of getting back into the run game, the ground the pound, which I'm seeing more of. But I mean, but for sure, like, for a very long time, it's been a pass heavy league. I think. I'm surprised that more people haven't been able to take advantage of it, but the fact that TJ Watt and him both got 2 and or broken the record is pretty damn, like, convincing to me to show why. It's like, I think when QBs are taking 53 passing attempts in a game almost every week now at this point, it's crazy to think that, like, not more people have that many sacks.
Yeah, but even then you can't put that, you can't hold that against him.
I'm not holding against anyone. Oh, I'm not. I'm not holding against. I'm
it's
saying
just the way the league is today.
Yeah, I know. That's why I can't say, like, it's always the what if. It's never anything. It's always the what if. It's what if Lawrence Taylor played in the 2020s then compared to when he played. Like, it's we always look at these kind of things, and it's always going to be a matter of what if. But the only thing that we know stands is the facts, right? Facts are, this person did it in this many games. This person had this many games to do it in. I don't care. We have 17 games in a season. If they move it up to 20 games a season, then oh well. If the records get broken, they get broken. I think anyone right now who is discrediting Myles Garrett, who, by the way, is the most dominant guy in the league right now on defense, has been for years. The guy's never slowed down. He only speeds up, and these guys are like a wrecking ball coming at your face every time. And let's not forget that I think it was what week was it? I think it was week 8 or week 9. He had like 1 sack this season total.
Yeah, and then the next game,
1 sack, and then
Yeah,
that was it.
and then he bounced back with 7 sacks in one game.
And
Huh?
he's bounced back and managed to break a record with half the season only having 1 damn sack. So if you want to say anything, he played the other games, but he realistically got that entire record in half the amount of a season. I mean, so for me, that's incredible. I think everyone's forgetting that, but I think right now, if you're discrediting this man for breaking the record, you're dumb. You're straight up dumb. Because it wasn't Strahan's then. It was to the next guy before that had it that wasn't in a 16-game season. And before that as well, before it was 14, I think it was the league minimum. There was 10 games at one point before when the league had first started. So I mean, like, whoever had the record then holds it. Anyone beyond that is just dumb. But you don't care about that. You care about your childhood favorite that you watched grow up do it, and so now you care about that record being broken. So now you're saying it's obsolete. You're saying it's invalid that Myles Garrett got it, or he has to have an asterisk next to it for 17 games. You're dumb. You just are dumb. There's no way around it. I don't care. Go back to school, something. But you're dumb. That's just straight up. There's no way around it. I don't know how else you can contend this. The guy is just playing the game he's playing. He didn't just go up to Goodell and be like, hey, yo, I want to break the record this season. I'm thinking, can you up it to like 17 games with a 1-week bye? Can you just up it one more time? I think I got more in me. We can go next season. I can get 25 sacks next year. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't. It's whatever games are. You can blame the league. Don't blame him. It's not his fault. He has the record. He holds it. That's it. There's no asterisk. There's no shut the whatever.
If you're
Anyway,
a salty Giants fan, you shouldn't be salty about this.
I'm a Giants fan. I'm not. There's no reason to be salty. There's no reason to be salty.
All these younger ends came up into the league, and they idolize Strahan. They idolize all these guys. It's their dream. It is their dream to break one of their records. And Myles Garrett just lived out a dream. And he's one of the best defensive ends in the league.
No reason to be salty. And anyone who's salty at this is dumb. And that includes the players. I'm sorry. If Strahan came out and was salty, he's dumb too. Because at that point, it's like, there's no reason for it. You can't.
About it.
Joking about it is one thing. But if you're coming up straight up like, oh, he doesn't deserve it, then, like, well, come on. Just stop being an old man. Like, stop being crotchety and give it up. That's it. Give the respect and let it be it. Yeah, it is. I'm about to change that right now. Like, I'm working off one monitor, so things might be a little messed up for me right now. That's a big thing here. So I have to fix that as well. So my monitor is not my monitor, but my camera is a little messed up.
How many topics we got left? Because I got like 10 minutes.
Bro, we can talk about one more real quick. We can kind of just go over this one real quick here. So there's really like not much else we have to cover. We kind of got everything that we wanted to talk about. If anything, if you want to go over it, we can kind of cut it after your 10-minute here, Mark. But you want to go over maybe the last subject might be a question strictly for you, really, at this point, because I did have one question for you, because the next one would take too long. So we can kind of cover that in an off-season kind of thing. We don't have to talk about that now. But I wanted to ask you, Vic, right? The Jets had an a defensive coach in the league this year, right? They grabbed the defensive-minded coach. They came into this season with a good or a solid defense on paper. You had Sauce Gardner, you had Quinn Williams, you had all this stuff. They had a decent defense on paper. They are now the first team ever, a record that can't be broken. It can only be tied at this point, but the Jets are the first team to ever do it. Go an entire season without a single interception. Now, is that a personnel issue? Does that have to do anything with the coaching? Is that a defensive coordinator thing? Is that a head coach thing? How do you feel about the coach this year? And do you think it was them, or was it just the player quality? Like, what went wrong with the season defense that they could not get a single interception in the season?
I mean, a lot went wrong, and everyone's to blame. Obviously, every Jet fan's going to point at Aaron Glenn and give him the blame for the loss. And, I throw some shade at him, too, because he came in a defensive-minded head coach to change the culture of the team, and that's what he promised us he would do, And you could see he was striding to do that, but it just they were just depleted, man. Like they did. They had players on defense. They weren't incapable. Like there's no reason why you should go through a whole season and not get one interception. I don't even know where that begins. It's got to be there's miscommunication with players to personnel to play calling to just player ability to make plays. I don't know if they got it in their mind after their first 6 weeks in, like we're just trash and it don't even matter anymore, like an early mind season kind of tank, and then cleaning out house. So I mean, it's got to stem inward, obviously. You know what I mean? There's clearly guys are not on the same page. I know that locker room was pretty much in shambles, like halfway through the season, talking about if players are playing to their full capability or if they're just in the tank, especially after getting, trading off their biggest playmakers or superstars on that team. It's just, it's a little bit of everything, man. It's hard to want to play good, and I know it's like a bullshit thing to say, especially because these guys are getting paid to play. You got fans coming to see you and sit in 20-degree weather, hoping that you come out and perform, and you're just like, man, the season's over. We lost. They're telling us to lose so we can get a better draft pick. We ain't got to play 100%. It could be a lot of that shit too. I know when I played and we lost, the morale was down, and I didn't even want to play. It's just. And I wasn't even getting paid. You know what I mean? These guys are getting paid. They're like, no matter what, we're getting paid. So all around, it was just a mediocre season, especially on the defensive side. I mean, the offensive side was no better. There was the full workup of what was supposed to happen this season. I honestly think was destroyed in that first game, losing to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it set the tone for the fans, but I think to the players to go and lose to Aaron Rodgers at home, first game back, new coach, new regime, I think that took a lot out of them, like on a morale standpoint, like, oh, we're the same old losing Jets, like, and then to go in week by week, and it's, anybody can relate this. Like, you go into a week, you have a good week, and you're getting encouraged, and things are good. And then you have a crap week, and you got someone trying to encourage you. You don't want to hear it. Like, you're like, yeah, I got to hear it, but, like, you don't want to hear it. You're like, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to change, So, I can't say, Aaron Glenn, yeah, you didn't come in and do what you said you were going to do. We got 3 wins or 2 wins this season. I honestly was expecting a better job than that. I was expecting the Jets defense to go somewhere in the top 10. I didn't know they were going to break it apart the way that they did. And then, obviously getting rid of those guys and firing Steve Wilkes. I just don't think players were on the same page with the coaches. And I just don't think there was an urgency to go out there and put it all on the line. When you're not playing it at your all, you're not seeking to go and win the game. You're not putting your body on the line to make that extra play, to go dive for that interception, just to make these plays. Just, so, it stems. I think it's a player communication thing with the coaches, man. Like, you got to want to play. You got to be in it. If you're losing, I know it sucks, but, like, you get paid to come to work, right? And to put it all out there on the field. Why? Because this is your job, and people pay to come and see you. You have fans that still want to see you guys do good. We pay our hard-earned money to come and see you perform and win games and do things. And the way to win games is to statistically and physically put your body on the line to go and make plays. And when that's zapped away, because that's what it looked like, too, halfway through the season, like they weren't playing. You could see it, like these guys weren't playing, bro. Like they were just on the field getting just getting swamped out, like there was no heart in their season, and I really think that's, it's just hard. It's hard to reach somebody when you're like, when you've been losing for so long and that's all and then a new guy tries to come in and he's trying to change you guys all up, and you guys are like, man, this guy's going to be another one. And then that actually happens, like I can't see how many guys have faith in Aaron Glenn right now. Maybe a handful. To be like, don't worry, next season's going to be better. We're going to get it together. There's still a lot of disarray and, like, I don't even want to say heartbreak. It's just like they're used to sucking, so it's like there's no point in going out and playing, like they put that, I feel like they put that on themselves, and it showed all season, and hence they broke a record that will never be broken, only tied. I don't think it will be tied for a long time because it's just only a Jet thing that could happen. To go out and not have one interception we've had worse defenses, I feel like, and we've still had an interception. Like, it's just it sucks. It sucks to be a Jets fan right now. I ain't putting it all on Aaron Glenn though. I gotta have some kind of hope in him, because it's only his first year, and they disembombed the whole team. Now I know it wasn't going well, and I'm gonna sit here and say it was only 1 year. It's the same thing that happened when they brought Adam Gase in. They thought he was going to be the way, and he came in and he gave us the same exact season we had this year. It was 2-14, and it got a little better, but it wasn't what was promised by him. So it's only one season. They got a bunch of draft capital to go out there and to try and get some young blood in the building, guys that want to play and get them started, make these older guys that are, in their positions already that have been paid, especially Sherwood. He's another one, man. Like, they gave him a deal, bro, and he just like, oh, we're going to lose? All right, I ain't going to play. Like, you could see his play went down.
Yeah.
From when he didn't get his contract last year, he was fighting for that money, bro. He was up there, man. He took the role from CJ. He led the team in tackles, bro. He was out there. He was coveraging guys. This year, I don't know what the hell happened to him.
Felt like he didn't know how to tackle at all.
But it all starts somewhere. Like, I can't put it all on Glenn because the players, they were the worst tackling team in the last 2 seasons. Like, there's just a lot that goes into it, man. I can't just say, yeah, Aaron Glenn, man, look, you made this team 2-14. They forgot how to tackle. They forgot how to play football. They forgot how to get interceptions. They forgot, you know what I mean? Like, no, bro, like, these guys are paid professionals. Like, it ain't all on the coach. Yes, it's on the coach because we only won 2 damn games, but, like, you guys still need to come out and play. Like, he cannot go out and win you the game. He can give you the game plan. And if the game plan doesn't work, he's going to change it. And there's going to be options and shit. There was multiple chances the Jets could have won games this year and at least been 5 and something. You know what I mean? Or 6 and something. But the incapability to turn the ball over, to move the ball down the field, to sustain drives, to get first downs, to make plays happen, that's only something the player can do. And I'm sure there was opportunities for them to have times. There was opportunities for plays to have been made that just didn't get made because the players just weren't there, and that's clearly there's some discommunication between the coaching staff, even up to Woody, stems from Woody all the way down. And Woody ain't had done good shit for us since the Mark Sanchez era. And, all I can do is hope that we have a better season. All I can do is hope for 3 wins next year, which is such a shitty bar to set as a Jets fan. And ain't no Jet fan out here that's going to disagree with me because they're going to all come into next year being like, all right, well, this is our year again, spouting this crap. I'm glad I set the bar really low. I just didn't set it this damn low. And see, I hope, I don't know what his contract is with them right now, Glenn. I think it's given his right to at least try again and let him go into a draft and let him try and build what he thinks is a winning team and stay your ass out of it, Woody, because when Saleh came, they left him there, and he was able to build up some of these players with the GM. And, yeah, we didn't have an amazing team, but I'll tell you what, we had a top defense for like 3 or 4 years straight with Robert Saleh in the house. Now, the offense was always the issue, but the defense was there. The guys they got in the draft, Flowers, they produced, and we were able to stay in games. We just couldn't close them out. So I hope they could give Glenn his fair shot. It was his first year as a head coach. Coming to New York, high stakes, no excuses. He knows that. He knows they played like shit this year. He needs to hold everyone accountable, stay disciplined, and lock back in and try and get some young blood in there. Try and get some guys that are going to be willing. I'll tell you who's willing to freaking play football are some young rookies right now to come out. They ain't trying to. They have to put it out there because their careers are at stake. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna go out and play. So go ahead and get me 8 to 10 young guys, man, that want to play. And I'm sure they'll fire up these old heads of these middle-aged men that played like dog crap this season.
Well, I gotta ask real quick before we get off here. All right, and then we're going to lightning round real quick. So they talked about obviously with a lot of coach firings and whatnot, and a lot of coach prospects that are already being interviewed, even teams that are in the playoffs are there, to what's it called? to be hired for next season. Would you replace a guy like Aaron Glenn for like say another defensive-minded head coach that apparently is being interviewed like Robert Saleh? Head coach.
Yeah, I saw that. He's getting interviews. He's accepting interviews. Oh, that would be funny.
No.
The reunion.
No, that's it.
We don't go backwards, bro. Like, Robert Saleh had his era with the Jets, and it didn't work out. The only thing that worked out was the defense. There was no winning seasons. What are you going to go back to? Another good defense? And, like, no, bro. Like, that's it. Give Aaron Glenn a shot. That's it. Let him fall in his face like every other head coach the Jets have ever hired in the history of hiring, and let him fall. Or let him, what's the word I'm looking for? Let him surprise you. You know what I mean? Like, it's either he's going to fall on his face like every other guy the Jets have ever done this shit with, and it's just going to be, all right, well, it ain't nothing new, or let him try and come out and see what he can do. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? It's one season. Like, everyone's acting like this is the worst year the Jets have ever had. Like, I've been a Jets fan since I'm 4 years freaking old, and it's not the worst season we've ever had. It's pretty much tied with the worst season we've ever had. Okay? So, like,
yeah, it's the worst season.
It honestly, it can't get any worse than this. Unless it's 0-17. Okay? So, like, I have hope because it cannot get any worse than this. This is the first year, and I've seen a first year in Adam Gase come out and give me the same damn record. And then, you know what? He came out and he got us, like, 7 wins and then 9 wins. And then we went back to crap again. But you know what? There was some uppity uptake out of the 2-14 season. So it can't get any worse. If we go 0-17, I ain't going to be pissed, bro, because it's going to be like, you know what? It's either we were going to get 5 more wins or we were going to get 2 wins again. Like, if another 2 losses and they go winless, it don't bother me at this point. I'm that sad now that Jets are never going to make the playoffs. I'm never going to say that ever again until I can see a winning season consecutively. Show me that you guys can win at least 10 games back-to-back seasons. Then we can talk about you guys making a run for the playoffs. But all these Jet fans are lunatics. I'm telling you, there's going to be Jet fans. No matter what the Jets do, they're already saying it. Oh, yeah, well, with all this draft capital, money, and free agency, we should win the division. Like, shut the hell up. You're an idiot, all right? I'm a diehard Jets fan. Take your stupid glasses off, you moron, and pay attention to the real what's going on here. Okay, that's never happened, and it's not going to happen until Big Boy Joe, Mr. Joe Broadway over there, unfortunately, ain't around anymore.
I think it's something in the water in New York because all New York fans are kind of
shot.
Yeah, in a better sense, and it's every New York fan base. It's not just the Giants and Jets. No. It's the Islanders. It's the Rangers. It's the Yankees. It's the Mets. We're all just stupid to some degree.
Jets fans just need to realize that we are in the long suffering, and we are going to stay there. So don't expect to be out of it the next season. And then the next season, this is what you guys do to yourself. We suck right now. We can only hope to get better than 2 wins. If we get 3 wins, it's progress. It's shitty and slow progress, but it's progress. Be humble.
All right,
don't set the expectations fully high.
We're gonna cap it off there. For the topics. Just one last thing. We have the lightning round question. This one's gonna be pretty basic, nothing crazy. This one is: we are on Wildcard Weekend. We have the Rams and the Panthers, the Packers, the Bears, the Bills, the Jaguars, 49ers, Eagles, Chargers, Patriots, and Texans, Steelers. What game for you is the game of the week coming up this week for Wildcard Weekend?
Bills, Jacksonville for me, locking it.
I was going to say Jacksonville, Jaguars, Jaguars, Bills, or Eagles, 49ers. But if I'm locking something in, it's going to be Jaguars, Bills.
Same here. I think we all got it down for that much. It's Jacksonville versus the Bills. I think it's going to be the game of the week. We will be touching on this. You guys will already see it at that point, but hope you guys have a good wild card weekend. Enjoy your guys' self, and we'll be back next week with another episode of BSBN Podcast. Talk to you guys later, and have a good night, everyone.
See you guys next week.
Peace.